You're about to close the biggest deal of your career, and suddenly you show up late to the meeting. You're finally getting recognized for your work, and you inexplicably pick a fight with your boss. You're on the verge of your breakthrough, and you do the one thing guaranteed to destroy it. This isn't bad luck. This isn't stupidity. This is your shadow at work. And Carl Jung discovered exactly why successful people are programmed to destroy their own success. What I'm about to share with you explains why lottery winners go bankrupt, why celebrities implode at their peak, why the most talented people find ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. This is the psychology of self-sabotage at the deepest level. And once you understand it, you'll never see success the same way again. Let me tell you about a client who made me understand Jung's discovery in a whole new way. Brilliant entrepreneur. Built 3 successful companies. But every time he reached a certain level of success, like clockwork, he would blow it up. Affairs that destroyed his partnerships. Reckless decisions that bankrupted his businesses. It was like watching someone win a chess game and then flip the board. When we dug into his shadow, we found something that changed everything. Success. For him, meant becoming his father. And his father was a successful man who had abandoned his family for work. Deep in his shadow was a vow he'd made as a child. I'll never be like him. But he'd never processed what that meant. So every time he approached his father's level of success, his shadow would activate and destroy everything to keep that unconscious vow. This is Jung's revolutionary insight about success and shadow. We don't just have shadows around our negative qualities. We have shadows around positive qualities too. And for many people, success itself lives in the shadow dot. Think about the messages you received about successful people growing up. Were they greedy, selfish, corrupt? Did success mean abandoning your values, losing your friends, becoming someone you swore you'd never be? Every negative association you have with success feeds your success shadow, but it goes even deeper. Jung discovered that we often put our greatest gifts in our shadow. A musician who could have been world-class, but chose accounting because artists are irresponsible. A natural leader who plays small because leadership means being bossy or controlling. A genius who hides their intelligence because being smart made them a target. When success is in your shadow, you'll sabotage it every time you get close. Not because you're weak or stupid, but because your psyche is protecting you from becoming something you've deemed dangerous or unacceptable. Here's how success shadows typically manifest. First, there's the impostor syndrome shadow. This isn't just feeling like a fraud. This is your shadow's way of saying, success belongs to others, not to someone like you. Your shadow contains all the reasons you're not allowed to succeed, often absorbed from family, culture, or early experiences. Second, there's the visibility shadow. Success makes you visible, and if being seen was dangerous in your past, your shadow will sabotage success to keep you hidden. Maybe attention meant criticism in your family. Maybe standing out meant being attacked. Your shadow remembers and protects you by keeping you small. Third, there's the abandonment shadow. This is huge. If you unconsciously believe success means losing love, losing connection, losing belonging, your shadow will destroy success to preserve relationships. Even if those relationships are toxic, even if those people want you to succeed. The shadow operates on old programming, not current reality. Fourth, there's the corruption shadow. If you believe success corrupts, if you think money makes people evil, if you associate achievement with selling out, your shadow will sabotage success to keep you pure. You'll make decisions that ensure you stay noble in your poverty, rather than risk corruption in wealth. Let me share another example that blew my mind. A talented writer, agent interested, publishers calling. But every time she needed to submit her work, something would happen. computer crashes, family emergencies, sudden illnesses. She thought it was bad luck until we explored her shadow. Turns out her mother was also a writer, an unsuccessful, bitter writer who competed with her own daughter. Every time my client wrote something good as a child, her mother would criticize it or write something better. Success as a writer meant defeating her mother, and her shadow wouldn't let her be that cruel. So it sabotaged every opportunity to protect the relationship, even though her mother had been dead for years. This is the tragedy of the success shadow. It keeps you from your greatness, not because it hates you, but because it's trying to protect you. It's operating on outdated software, running programs that made sense when you were 5, but are destroying your life at 30-5. Jung also discovered that collective shadows affect success. If you come from a family, culture, or class where success is seen as betrayal, your shadow carries that programming. Don't get too big for your britches. Don't forget where you came from. Money doesn't grow on trees. These aren't just sayings. They're shadow installation programs that the working class person who sabotages their corporate success because it means betraying their roots. The woman who sabotages her career because success means being unfeminine. The minority who plays small because success means being a sellout. These are collective shadows at work. But here's what's really fascinating. Jung found that the shadow doesn't just sabotage external success. It sabotages internal success. 2. The moment you feel genuinely happy, confident, or peaceful, your shadow might activate to bring you back to familiar suffering. Because even misery can be safer than unfamiliar joy. I've seen this countless times. People who create drama right when things are going well, who pick fights after moments of intimacy, who get sick after big wins, who find problems to worry about when everything is actually fine. This is the shadow saying, success, even emotional success, isn't safe for someone like you. The shadow of success often partners with other shadows. The perfectionism shadow that makes you procrastinate on important projects. The unworthiness shadow that makes you undercharge or give away your value. A chaos shadow that creates crisis. To avoid the discomfort of stability and success. So how do you integrate a success shadow? First, you need to identify it. Look at your patterns. When do you sabotage? Right before breakthrough? After achievement? When people start noticing you? The timing tells you what your shadow is protecting you from. Next, explore your associations with success. Write down everything you think about successful people. Don't censor yourself. Let all the judgments flow. They're greedy, they're lonely, they're fake. They've sold their souls. Whatever comes up, that's your shadow talking. Then trace it. Back. Where did these beliefs come from? Who taught you success was dangerous? When did you decide it wasn't safe to shine? What happened when you succeeded as a child? Did someone get threatened? Did you lose love? Did you get punished? Your shadow remembers even if you don't. Here's a powerful exercise. Write a letter from your shadow to you, explaining why it sabotages your success. Let it tell you what it's protecting you from. You might be shocked by its answers. I destroy your success because Mom gets depressed when you outshine her. I keep you small because Dad only loves underdogs. I sabotage your money because rich people destroyed our family. But integration isn't just understanding. It's also updating the shadow's programming. You need to show your shadow that success doesn't mean what it thinks it means. That you can succeed without abandoning your values. That you can have money without becoming your greedy uncle. That you can be visible without being destroyed. This requires creating new experiences that contradict the shadow's beliefs. Small successes where nothing bad happens. Moments of visibility that lead to connection, not rejection. Achievements that don't corrupt your soul. You're literally rewiring your shadow's understanding of what Success means Jung believed the ultimate integration happens when you can hold both the light and dark of success. Yes, success can corrupt, and you can succeed with integrity. Yes, some successful people are assholes, and you can succeed with kindness. Yes, success changes things, and you can navigate that change consciously. The person who's integrated their success shadow is radically different from both the self-sabotager and the ruthless achiever. They can succeed without guilt. They can fail without shame. They can be visible without ego. They can have money without corruption. They've reclaimed success from the shadow and made it conscious. But here's the final piece most people miss. Sometimes the shadow sabotages not because success is bad, but because you're pursuing the wrong success. The shadow might destroy the corporate career because your real calling is art. It might sabotage the traditional path because you're meant for something unprecedented. In these cases, the sabotage is actually guidance. Your shadow is destroying false success to point you toward authentic success. The key is learning to distinguish between shadow sabotage based on old fears and shadow sabotage based on deep wisdom. Jung's ultimate message about success and shadow is this: you can't achieve authentic success by conquering your shadow. You achieve it by integrating your shadow, by understanding what it's protecting you from, by updating its programming, by including its wisdom while not being controlled by its fears. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's your protector operating on outdated information. And when you finally sit down with it, when you listen to its fears and update its understanding, when you show it that success doesn't mean what it thought it meant, something magical happens. The self-sabotage stops. Not because you've eliminated your shadow, but because your shadow no longer sees success as a threat. You can finally approach your full potential without internal resistance. You can succeed without constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting for the moment you'll destroy it all. This is what becomes possible when you integrate your success shadow. Not perfect success without failure, but conscious success without sabotage. Not achievement without shadow, but achievement that includes and transforms the shadow. Your shadow has been protecting you from a version of success that might have destroyed who you were. But you're not who you were anymore. You're ready for success that includes all of you, light and shadow, achievement and authenticity, greatness and groundedness. The only question is, are you ready to stop letting your shadow run your life from the unconscious? Are you ready to have a conscious conversation with the part of you that's been sabotaging your success? Because that conversation will change everything. Your shadow is waiting, and it has something important to tell you about why you're not allowed to succeed yet.